Meanwhile, back here at home, they seem to be everywhere all the time at street corners and off the loop, especially in Midland, many times asking for help or even spare change.
Well, panhandling, of course, is nothing new, but it seems like we're seeing a lot more of them on the streets lately. The city of Midland says they don't expect them to leave town anytime soon. So that left us wondering, what's the best way to handle it when you pull up and they're right there on the corner asking for money?
News West 9's Roxana Rubio takes a look in her special report.
For the past couple of months, I've spent my lunch hour observing panhandlers. The city of Midland has many hot spots. Almost every intersection along the loop will have someone asking for money. At one point, I saw 4 panhandlers at this intersection, 1 on every corner. Now, groups who help the homeless say giving money to panhandlers can actually hurt them, but they say giving them water, food, or even a nice smile will help them more. The next time you pull off the interstate or stop at a busy intersection, there's a good chance you'll see someone holding a sign asking for money. Some are familiar faces we see all of the time. Others are traveling city to city.
It's tough because we shouldn't judge and we shouldn't assume. But it is something that's out there, and I don't think it's going to go away.
If panhandlers aren't going anywhere, we should at least learn how to coexist with them. Evan Rogers is the founder of Church Under the Bridge. He says there's no way to know which panhandlers are homeless and which ones have alcohol or drug addictions, but we should treat them all the same.
We never recommend giving money because we do not want to enable them. And so what we've come up with is we have a gallon Ziploc bag, and we put beef jerky, water, crackers, a pack of bubble gum, socks, hygiene stuff in one bag and hand it to them. And that's something tangible that everybody can use.
The city of Midland says many of the panhandlers we're seeing are people who move frequently and stop at cities where the economy is doing well, making it harder for the actual homeless to get help.
There are some residents who are frustrated that panhandlers knock on the windows, get in front of the vehicles, get on private property, litter. I've heard all those kind of comments, and so not all panhandlers are good, and we know that. So it's tough sometimes that who really needs it and who doesn't.
Roger says he often spends time with panhandlers and hears people screaming out their window, things like, "Go get a job." But he says it's not that easy.
You need a physical address to get an ID. In order to get an ID, you need another form of ID to verify who you are. Well, if you don't have a birth certificate or social, which most guys on the streets don't, it's kind of like a spider web. Every time that they move and try to make a better decision, it gets worse. Like they just feel stuck. So they finally go, this is who I am. But they've heard it all on the street, and really they've become callous to it. But we're all human, and regardless of how callous you get to it, it still affects them in some ways.
The homeless population in Midland is at about 300, but many of those people choose not to panhandle, and instead they keep a low profile. Sometimes what many forget is a simple greeting can turn someone's day or life around.
Just a smile, or just to look them in their eye, and just a nod, just saying that it's going to be okay and maybe things will get better soon, goes a long way.
The best thing that anybody can ever do is, whether you give them anything, is to recognize that they're a human being. I ran into a gentleman not too long ago who he was sitting outside of Stripes convenience store, and he said he was sitting there for 3 days and not one person stopped just to even say hi. So when I stopped and said, "Hey, you know, I'm Evan with Church Under the Bridge, what's your name?" And he was baffled because for the first time in 3 days, somebody treated him like a human.
Well, tonight you heard about some of the problems people have been complaining about panhandlers in the area. On Wednesday, we'll bring you the second part of this special report. There you'll hear what the city of Midland says they're doing to address the panhandle problem here in the basin.